Terra, a xenobiology project. Now, I already know what some of y'all are thinking. Jordan, you've already got 3 other projects going on. Compolus, Crocotera, and you said another one on deer? Man, that's a lot. And now this one? Yeah, that's a lot, Jordan. But guess what? I'll get onto that at the end of the video. Now, Terra is inspired by one of my friends' creations, the world of CeeLo. I got inspired by this at the very last minute, and also because, guess what? I've been attempting to do studying on xenobiology projects since the start of Compolus, yeah. I've tried to, and I made these little drawings, never thought much of it until now, which I'm making this project. And plus, you should go subscribe to him. I'll link his channel down below, and plus, please do it. He's one of my friends. But this is the world of Terra. Terra is a pretty large planet around the size of Earth and has an atmosphere similar to that and gravity similar to that. It has 2 moons, which I have not thought of the names yet, so you can comment them down below any names and I'll pick the most liked name suggestions of the 2 moons. One of them is completely spherical, similar to Moon's Earth, and another one is more an asteroid. When the planet was being created, this one got stuck in its orbit, and now became one of its moons. It has tiny islands, and not many, so mainly it's a water world. Its star is Parathos. Parathos is a large sun, not too large. It's around the size of our sun, and it's a yellow dwarf, similar to our sun. It emits more green light than any other light. Soon, that might affect the planet of Terra. But the planet closest to the star is Sorloth. Sorloth is a planet that doesn't spin. It's completely locked. One side of it is constantly day, another side is completely night. And there's one sliver that is called the midnight. But even the midnight zone is not habitable. It is a hot, horrible planet with no atmosphere and low gravity. Koroth is around the size of Mars. It is a heavy, thick atmosphere that traps heat in it. It has molten rivers, and the ground is mainly made up of magma. It's a hot world and not suitable for life. But in a thin layer in its atmosphere, there could be some sort of life. But that's very, very unlikely. Next up is Terra. Terra is right in the habitable zone, meaning it can support life. Next up is Goroth. Goroth is a giant gas giant. It's around the size of Neptune. It has around 4 moons, but one of the moons has a tinier piece of rock orbiting it, so you could also count it as 5 moons. None of its moons are also completely spherical and are instead bumpy and rocky, similar to asteroids. And it has 3 major storms going on in its surface. Next up is the final planet, and the farthest one back. Isago. Isago is a planet with 2 rings, one going vertical and one going from the side. It is a very icy planet. It's around the size of Jupiter and is a giant ice giant. It has 1 moon as of now that has been located. And what's cool about this moon is that its moon is a gas moon. Not many gas moons are known, but this one has its own little gas moon. Now, of course, on Terra, no life exists on the land. But if you go deep down into the water, you'll find the beginning stages of life itself. Starting with Premium Bacterium, or first bacteria. The first bacteria is actually not a bacteria at all. Although it might look like a bacteria, it's not. It sucks up nutrients in the water and eats other tinier little cells. It has flagella. Now, flagella is a type of organ that allows cells to move on their own. These small organisms have that. They also use them for reproduction. They swim around in small little pods and are very, very tiny. You would have to find them underneath a microscope in order to see them. Another one is Ichthyocelia. Ichthyocelia, or blow cell, is a very strange organism. The orange organ is actually its jet-like proportion, giving its name blow cell. Some cells have blows on them to help them maneuver across. These creatures adapt that into a more structure. The blue rings around it help it swim as the blue jet propels them forward, and the smaller, lighter orangish color is housing all of its special needs in order to digest. These creatures eat another cell that we'll talk about right now. These creatures eat the cell known as ruboplantis. Ruboplantis is a plant cell. Ruboplantis is very strange than earth plant cells. Earth plants are green. I think we can all find that. But on Terra, they're red. Why is this? The star produces more green light, which can go, and the planet only absorbs the green light, unlike Earth, which absorbs more of the blue light. That's why our skies are blue. On Terra, however, the sky is green. And in order to absorb this green light, these creatures have become red to absorb it. They turn it into food and in turn produce methane, which can be eaten by some other cells. On the planet, there is oxygen, methane, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen. These creatures produce methane. Next up is our first multicellular organism, Pina corna, or finwing. The creature gets its name, finwing, because the creature has strange fins on its head that resembles wings. This helps it propel itself in the water. These multicellular organisms eat other small cells and ruboplantis, making them omnivores. They have a brain, a stomach, intestines, and a reproductive organ. The reproductive organ is similar to a suction cup, suctioning cup onto the other reproductive organ, usually on the female, which then in turn pumps the, let's just say, baby batter inside of the female, in which she'll carry her eggs inside the reproductive organ only to be dispersed out later. Next up is primum vermis, or waterworm. These creatures look very similar to earthworms. However, they are tiny, very tiny, and have a small opening on their face that sucks in nutrients from the water. They're a filter feeder, sucking up nutrients and waste in the water, which goes down in their intestines, in their stomach, which sucks up the nutrients, and then the waste is spurted back out. The reproductive organ allows them, as they rub on top of each other, to create the eggs inside. This planet is a very strange one, and soon we're going to find out what happens next. Now, on the topic of all the other projects that I'm talking about, well, I might cancel Kinta the World of Deer. Now, that might sound pretty bad, and I know it is, but it's a lot of work, and I didn't really want the project anyway. But, see y'all in the next episode. I'm going to try to have Compulus episode 5 out as soon as I possibly can. It's a lot harder for me because, well, a small blizzard just came through our little neighborhood, and it's pretty harsh. Well, hope to see you on the next episode. Subscribe, and also check out Spec Evo Worlds down below. Please and thank you. And goodbye.